That is an interesting focal point. Fear and death. Fear and death is how everyone is subconsciously controlled and more controllable. People that do bad or harm, or are looked at as tougher or willing to kill or do whatever, they're always kind of looked up to in a way, even though they're looked down on, hence like movies and TV that dramatize gangsters, The Sopranos, all these shows, and people love it and people idolize it. But then when you encounter it, it's like, I probably don't want to fuck with those people. But, it's like, that's the thing. You've got to raise up in your own mind, like I would think, like the awareness of yourself and your surroundings to like, hey man, I'm not going to fear death. Hey man, I'm not going to fear you, bully. Hey man, I'm not going to fear. And then take the action. If you got a bully, it's like, well, learn how to fight or give it hell. And even if you get your ass kicked, at least you can stand up for yourself as a man or as a woman, whatever you find yourself in, right? You need to, all of this drama and bullshit about, don't fight the bully and turn the other cheek. It's like, no, man, like, no shot. And the reason why is because if you turn the other cheek forever and these bullies anticipate you doing that, then yeah, that just allows them to continue being bullies. And then of course, a bully would want to make you even more dumbed down or more scared or this or that. And it's like, you can train yourself out of the fear of death. Of course, the military does it to their soldiers all the time. They are able to break them down and brainwash them, then build their confidence at the same time, internal confidence, and then it breaks the pattern in the fear of death, and they believe they're dying for a good cause, so they're going to go to a good place. And, of course, everyone's going to go to a good place, except, like we've spoken before, of the few humans. There are humans that do remain in the ghost realm because, the stuck in limbo between the living and the dead. That's a real occurrence. And that's specifically for the beings that pass away and they have been and done horrible things or lived their life in terrible addictions and other things. Now, if you're an addicted soul, and it's mentally taxing and you're not a bad person and you don't hurt anyone but yourself, then when you die, you need to recognize how you lived, okay, and then be okay with that and say, oh, I might have a regret or this or that, but you just have to let it all go. However, there are other spirits that can't let go, or they get caught in the matrix of that trap in themselves, whether they didn't believe they had a spirit. So when they find a spirit, they're like dumbfounded. And if there's no one there to tend them because they don't care, it's okay to ask sentient or angels or whatever you want to call them beings to be of service to you, and they will help. That's a real thing, of course. And in death, it's no different necessarily. But there are humans that make willfully wrong choices, knowing that what they're doing is wrong. And those people that are godless or worship Satan or believe their power is in the devil or believe their power is in money or politics or control, those people's eternity is, I guess, what you would call highly frightening. There's no being there torturing them like with a stick. How could you hurt a spirit physically? You can't hurt a spirit physically. So you'd have to be reincarnated or born on one of these hell planets where beings exist. So if the story of Satan or Lucifer is true, and he was really this bad guy and doing terrible things, if that is the case, and since it's what's taught on earth, it might as well be. But what you forget is that there are people that work with and for him and give everything to them. And just because they can smile and shake your hand and you would never know that they maybe do very sick or dark things behind closed doors or with other groups of people, It's hard, and it's hard to perceive that, because then it's hard to learn to trust or trust anyone. Because like, oh man, what is this person's capable of? So we just look over it and we're like, well, we don't know what they're capable of. It's just like, John Wayne Gacy, the child killing psychopath. He was a very astute member of society, and he put himself there very specifically in order to enact his sick desires and addictions that he could not compulsively control. And if you think he's the only one that was like involved in politics and the law that are sick, then you're just absolutely wrong. If one person had that idea, I'm sure many others have done the same. Now, to hide very well or put themselves in position of wealth and power if possible, to feed their desire or put them in a state where they're more invisible or above the law or can get away with things. Of course they do. And if they continue to do that, in spite of anything, whether it was God talking to them or not, even if God was speaking through me, which I'm not saying he or she or it is, I'm just saying even if, and they recognize that as God speaking to them, saying, hey man, you're not doing the right thing. Now, there's no hell in your afterlife except what you've created for the energies of others and for yourself. So say this John Wayne Gacy, you can only imagine what he did to his victims and what his victims went through. So that energy holds a pattern and it holds a manifestation. Now, the spirit of the child that was murdered, it might have been torturous in hell, but that's when good beings come in. And they say from the other side, from what you view as the other side of death, the angels, if you will, which they are just sentient beings, but if you'd like to call them angels, that's fine. There's an order, and sure, there are truths in your Bible as well. They've just mixed it around to entice and incite confusion and just teach it to you how they want. So you keep going to church and you keep, giving them money. And sure, church is good. Like, it's a nice time, and I've enjoyed going to churches before, especially black church or like non-denominational churches where they dance and sing and have fun and everyone's getting along and pretty much the majority of everyone's a good person. There's good in all that, and if there has to be. People make the best of everything, but that doesn't mean So, anyway, these energies, say this little boy or girl that John Wayne Gacy tortured and killed, which is so sad and so unfortunate. But for that child, sure, it experiences it. But you also remember that the adrenochrome, when it releases in the child, in the fear, it hypnotizes them. And anyone that might know what a child looks scared, or a baby, there's a glaze in their eyes almost, like if they're frightened, they'll have a reaction of crying and everything. But a deep fear in a child won't, the child won't experience it the same, or the pain they're in or what's going on the same as like maybe an adult would. Even an adult at a point of certain fear and torture would just shut down and no longer feel it. And the body, like an ant, when you cut off the head, might still keep screaming and moving, but that does not mean there's a spirit still in the body. If that's, you don't know what death is. So if a little boy or girl's tortured, then they're, the good beings out there, it's like helping them exit the body. But the energy pattern of the physical flesh does have a vibration that resonates and sticks around. But the spirit that was attached to that no longer is attached to that energy. However, John Wayne Gacy, when he dies or died or whatever, it doesn't matter, he will die if he hasn't already. Oh, sure he is. So, and when he dies now, he then is confronted by these energies he left behind, finds himself in his spirit, realizes how immensely wrong it was. And here's the thing, and here's the tricky part to understand. He can remain a ghost which the majority do because no one comes to help people like that. Unless, of course, you don't harm others. If you're sick and addicted and you die of an overdose or die of a drug because life is sad and things are hard or drugs are just too good once you tried them, and you died that way, there's going to be an angel just chilling, or one of your family members, or someone that loves you or cares in the universe. And even if no one loves or cares for you, or you don't feel that on earth, other beings out there do. It's like their job to care and love, you know? So don't fear death, and like, don't let bullies or anyone ever use death or the fear of death to frighten you. Don't let a book do it. Don't let the Pope do it. Don't let the government do it. Don't let your mom and dad do it. Don't let your friends do it. Don't let anyone bully or intimidate you around death, because in your death, even though you can't understand it yet, or you're not there yet, it's gonna be okay. And you're probably going to enjoy death as a good person dying way more than you could have ever enjoyed life. Once you're at the other side and you're expansive and everything makes sense and everything's fun and exciting again, and you can go here and you can go there, and you know, reincarnation is not promised or guaranteed, but of course it can be accomplished. You know, but of course there's a beginning, and that's a logical and obvious thing. Which came first, the body or the soul? Well, of course the body did. In this case, just as in our case with the creation of the universe and the spirit kingdom we reside in, it's a creation. Everything is created. There is no evolution other than like going through the motions of living or being a spirit, and then like learning something, then that is natural evolution. But evolution, you know, besides animals and certain animal structures, or fish or reptiles or other things, of course they adapt and evolve to their surroundings, and that's what they do. And humans are somewhat similar, but the DNA human pattern is very permanent, unless of course there was like a nuclear war and then all of your genetics were like messed up, and you know, and then your kids and everything and all that waste, and it all goes into you and you pass it along and it becomes your genetics, and then maybe in like 20 million years we all look like gray aliens, you know. And then it's funny that there's interviews on YouTube and it's the alien interview on YouTube, you know, of this military guy or whoever we're assuming it is. And the video is interrogating this gray, which is a CGI gray, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. See, just because they don't show you the real event doesn't mean they can't recreate it, right? Of course. And there's many, many stories. It's not myth, it's not legend, it's fact by many people. It's just hidden from the public or given the guise of, you know, false or whatever, or disinformation, or they must keep it top secret because the military industrial complex says so. Yeah, nah. Or the space program says so, or NASA says so. No. You know, and so okay, we're jumping around a little bit. We're going to go back to the bullies. So, you know, it's like, of course, they don't expect, a bully doesn't expect you to all come together as a group and fight them, because if that bully can make you feel smaller or make you feel weaker, then you're going to fear death or losing that battle quicker. But so say you were like, you know what, fuck this bully, man. Fuck it. And I believe in God and I believe in death. Everything's going to be better than life. And fuck it, man. I'm all in. There's nothing wrong with doing that and fighting that bully at that point. Absolutely not. Of course there's nothing wrong in that doing, you know? And again, we'd like to reiterate, that doesn't mean just because the information you're given now should mean, oh, I need to go kill like 20 million people or something weird. No one should ever harm anyone. You know, maybe a quick, swift spank to a child who's disobedient. You know, you're not spanking that child because you had a bad day at work or you don't like the way they dyed their hair. That's abuse. But if a child is out of line, throwing temper fits and speaking negatively or treating you negatively as the parent, it is 100% okay to discipline that child in a quick and abrupt physical response. Now, that can only be really beneficial up to a certain age in a child. With my daughter, I use count to 3. And of course, she's a sweetheart little girl. She's 4 and adorable and the best thing ever to me, as a dad. But, her behavior was out of line. Timeouts weren't working. Other things weren't working, And then there's all these hippies or whatever that are sorry, I shouldn't say that, but all these different whatever people that are like, oh, no, never touch a child, never raise your hand. But no. It's like, and then they want to give you all this psychological books that you have to figure out and do as a parent and everything but spank them, right? Bullshit. It's so with Josephine, my daughter, when she was 4, she really started to act up. And so I said, Josie, I'm going to count to 3. And if you don't stop your behavior, you are going to regret it and you are not going to like what happens. There will be a consequence. Well, she didn't understand what that meant, of course, in her 4-year-old brain. So she kept on. So 1, 2, 3. And of course, I didn't want to do this. It's very difficult, actually. But it's you have to. So and I took her and I picked her up. I put her over my knee and I gave her hell for 3 spanks. I gave her 3 hard spanks. And it hurt her and it hurt me probably more doing it. But you know what? Every single time after that, up until the age of 10 or 11, when I would count to 3, before I could get to 3, she will stop, adjust her behavior, and figure it out. It's the same principle as the hot stove. If a stove is hot and you tell a child not to touch it and they do, it hurts them. Okay, it's just that the stove doesn't have a choice. It just is what it is. Whereas the argument would be, well, a parent has a choice and a parent has this. No, there's nothing wrong with a swift kick in the ass to a disobedient, out of line, misbehaving little asshole kid. That is your kid. I don't believe that another parent should ever discipline a child like that because that confuses the child. But yeah, as someone else as an adult disciplining a child. No, that should be the parent's responsibility solely. Because there's trust between the parent and child until that trust is broken. Now, again, and we will clarify that spanking a child when they're out of line not because you're emotionally upset and you lose control and you shake a baby for crying or you hit them or you had a bad day or whatever. No, your emotions in disciplining a child while spanking them might be there, but you need to keep them at a distance as a healthy, responsible adult that doesn't want to hurt a child. Because who as a healthy, responsible adult would ever want to hurt a child? No one. But there are sick adults out there and that live amongst us that are human, that are in positions of power, whether you'd like to believe that or not, that do these things, these bullies. And, and anyway, I don't want to go I think I made my point when it comes to my opinion on spanking and that, it must be necessary. It's just, everyone's just so sensitive now in the world and it's just weird. We're all just being more controlled by media and fucking, what's on our smartphones or how we're supposed to feel or how we're supposed to behave or, it's and no offense to any gay person or transgender person or whatever, but I'm just speaking to speak this part of my mind. And through channel, of course, we are one. And in speaking. And, if you want to be whatever you want to be sexually, as long as you're not harming anyone in any real capacity, then fine. And if you want to harm and the person wants to be harmed sexually and it's consensual, then that's fine too. There's no shame in your sexuality. There's no shame in there's shame in the way you were manipulated and created, that we've talked about in other channels. But, but there's no shame in being exactly who you are, unless your impulse is to hurt someone else, and then you should seek help. But the problem is that most people don't seek help because they fear the judgment. They fear it or they just don't care. Like I said briefly, if God spoke through me to a very sick person right now, directly to them and said, you better stop, or you will have an eternity that you will regret. And there will be no Christ coming for you. If you are a baby raping, killing murderer, whether you pull the trigger or you pay someone or hire someone to do it, if you've started a war or wars against people and watched multiple people die, whether you didn't do the killing yourself or get your hands dirty yourself, do not think you are exempt. The only people that are exempt are the ones doing your bidding that don't feel like they know any better or have a choice. But you, sir, or madam, who have others do these sick biddings for your pleasure and your gain, for you shall meet an eternity that goes beyond what any torture, physical pain could ever be. And we mean that matter-of-factly. So if anyone's taken any part of our messages, like, oh, I can just go do whatever I want, or oh, I can just go live this impulse, or oh, I can just go do that, don't forget, just because there's no Satan that's going to drag you into the underworld necessarily, that's reserved for people who worship Satan, who Satan tricks very, very deceitfully. Of course, with riches and power and fame and promise and lies, deception. If you just read the Bible, you'll get that. But you need to stop looking at the Bible as something that was behind us or in front of us. You need to start looking at right now and what's really going on. And if the Bible says that Satan runs this world or this is his domain, then you better believe that there are going to always be people doing his bidding or her bidding or whatever. It doesn't matter. Or snake or whatever the fuck you want to call it. It doesn't matter. Whether Christ came or not, whether you're a Jew or a Christian or whatever you believe, Christ came or he didn't come or he's coming or whatever, you guys need to stop worrying about looking for someone else to do something for you and do it for your damn selves. That's how you operate in life. You don't expect handouts. You don't expect this. You don't expect that from anyone. And then you just hold on to this like, Christ will make it better, or like Christ will come first, and he might. We're not saying he won't, but we're not saying he wasn't here or was here. We don't care. You guys can argue amongst yourselves. We're not here to argue with anyone. You understand? Thank you. So, but again, and what we've mentioned in a previous channel briefly, you need to start looking around and asking yourselves why this group of people on this part of the world believes this God. And this group of people over here believes in this God, and this, and this, and this, and this. Okay, all right. Now you need to stop and recognize what is going on, and that this is a devised system of control that goes back eons, millennia. Things they've done on Earth before to other civilizations that they then, if it's not working right, they just wipe out. Okay, and whether these ancient aliens that you watch on TV are still among us or in the stars, again, until you see the truth yourself, we do not wish to tell you. And it's not our position to, nor will we be forced to, nor will the channel. Joel, no. He wouldn't know anyway until you show them or you show him. And we're not here to speculate. We might, give an idea to Joel, but that doesn't mean he has to speak it. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. Okay, and you all get that by now that are listening. So go back and remove the aggression and tone in our voice so as to not be egotistical. Let's refocus. So now, why is it that these Hindus believe in this God and these white people believe in this God and these Haitians believe in voodoo? And the voodoo is the oldest religion of Earth. If there's any one true religion, it's voodoo. Okay, like that's just obvious going through history books, or like not history books that you're given, but like the real ones. Voodoo's the most feared religion, and that's why I put voodoo priests up in my introduction video. People I've known, and how I've known them is no one's business, and I don't care to explain that, and I'm not afraid of it, and they're not afraid of me. We have a mutual respect and understanding. But their magic is very real. And you know what's threatened by that magic? Oh, probably Christians. Oh, probably people. Oh, probably these, because you're conditioned to believe that anything that isn't Jesus or this is hell. And that's bullshit. What you should be taught is that your decisions in life and the way you treat people determines your afterlife. You can be super sick. You could be the sickest evil fuck doing, sneakily doing evil shit, but then you put on a suit and tie and go to work and put on a smile and everyone likes you and you're just like he, and sure, people like that exist. They might be your CEO for all you know. Obviously it takes someone that's a little off to reach the top or have that kind of level of responsibility. Sure, they're intelligent in a certain way, but they have to be a little fucked to, know what they're doing or do what they've done to get to that position. Some have worked hard and diligently and earned that respectfully, and that's respectable. We're not saying all CEOs. Okay. And we don't mean to over-explain ourselves. We just find it imperative to explain ourselves because we know how easily your minds just go, nope, 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 nope. Or argue or question, which is normal. Question everything. Don't believe just because we're saying it to believe it. I mean, you can do whatever you want. We are not here to speculate. We know exactly what the hell's going on and been going on for a long time. And you guys need to stop being lazy and start looking at the true facts. You need to get together. You need to go to the Vatican and you say, I want these Vatican archives. And you need to go with like 1 million people or even, I think a fair amount of people to go to the Vatican with drones and cameras, all recording live to various social medias, a group in that form. And there's your protection, the camera and live feeds. Because if you want the Vatican archives, they're not just going to give it to you. Of course not. They don't, and they're not gonna. They never would. If they were going to, they would have had already. It's going to take an intervention. But you guys sit around just waiting for Christ because that's how they've kept you trained in your brain and psyche and your fear of death. They know it very well, these power players that put all this in motion. And whether they were extraterrestrial or human from the start is not, again, our prerogative until you learn that truth for yourself and for you to decipher. And sure, it's very hard to find information, but it is out there. And if there's information in the Vatican, now see, if the Vatican heard this, they would be dumping their files right now and putting it in another hidden vault. It's not just the Vatican archive. There's vaults everywhere underground with seed banks, and all these things. And there's bases that are that look like houses and places on the earth where, like, if there's ever, and it's not a secret or conspiracy theory, they just don't talk about it, but it's very evident it has happened and it's recorded as happened and it's out there. You just have to find it. But when there's a threat to Earth, either from a meteorite or what alien, if you will, whatever, which if that was going to be, it already would have been done. Duh. And so, as far as them coming to take you over, that or there's an alien ruler here that's so badass that they're just like, no alien out there will fuck with them. And it would take a celestial spirit like me and a badass like your channel that knows a lot of motherfuckers and love him and love people. It might just take someone with some real balls to actually say it and make themselves so vulnerable, duh. Anyway, slowing down again, not to portray ego too much. So yeah, start questioning everything. And, just because a law says, why is a law any more special than Jesus? It isn't to a Muslim, and they'll argue it all day. And that's why it's set up that way. That's why these ancient aliens, quote unquote, did what they did. Gods came down and then, ruled over humanity or manipulated humanity's DNA or caused a great flood or whatever the fuck you want to say. Or whatever happened, we can tell you, but again, it's just, then there's going to be some idiot that's like, no, that can't be. No. Debunk him, whatever. So just forget that shit, figure it out for your damn selves. But yeah, start questioning why. Stop believing in any god or demigod over you. There's no God over you. There never has been. There never will be. That's what all these elite secret society people understand, is that there's no God above them. So they think they can do whatever they want. But there's where they're wrong. There is a God. Oh, yeah. You better fucking believe it. And just because I use, just because we better fucking believe, why? Was I supposed to say that righteously and in and around God? Because that's how you're conditioned to feel you need to be. Oh, don't take the Lord's name in vain. Oh, do you think God, an omni being of ultimate patience and creation, which is just like we worship all the time, not in a weird way, but we just give thanks internally. We don't have to give, God doesn't ask anything, but once you pissed him off to the point, we'll say he is now, because that's how you would perceive God, as a he, right? That's how you're taught, or most of you. Some think it's a she, whatever. It's just ego at that point. But, we will tell you that, yeah, not so happy with a few of you. And I wouldn't anticipate any Jesus coming to save you. And if you think you could, you probably don't, but even if you think you could do the sick shit you do, you do, you people, the people that we're talking to in that point, it's like, oops. But here's your thing. You can chant, you can repent. But you have to really repent. And that means change everything about you. If that means give away every $1 billion you have and go experience what it's like to be homeless and fucking high on drugs to meet your salvation to God and prove to God who and what you believe in and who and what you want to be. Because once you know, or once you're told, and you continue knowing it's wrong, but you can't fight or get help for your impulses and the things you do, then it's not our position to say what's going to happen when you die. And it's kind of exciting to us in a way, just because it's like, justice, it's like, fuck, but we don't let ourselves get excited like that. Of course, Joel the channel would, and hearing that, and his excitement will trigger our communication, and then our voice changes. That's how that would work. So, but yeah, but don't think that you can't fake repent. You can't just like go to some church box and talk to some white guy or black guy or whatever the fuck, whatever color skin, and then just be like, oh, I sinned, I did this, or pray or drink wine and mock sacrifice of blood, or eat and mock sacrifice the flesh of Christ, which is totally fucking dark Satanism in the wrong text. But anyway, so that's no coincidence. But God, they are sick. Oh my God, I just don't understand how, and I don't even want to know how these people got so fucking twisted and lost, man. I don't want to know. Because it's like, I don't want, I can't say that if I met the same temptations or the same whatever, that I could be any different. Or maybe I would. I don't know. I don't know what causes sick people to be sick, but it's probably just our fucking humanity. But yeah, so like to repent, to go to church and just drink some wine and tell your priest that what you did, that doesn't absolve you from shit. And you better recognize it. You all need to recognize that, It's like, unless you're like some little old lady that was like, oh, I made my husband's coffee too hot, and then it spilled and it burned him and he got mad, and I just feel so terrible, and I'm a sinner and I'm weak and I'm sorry, and dude, you don't have to go to church for shit like that. You have to repent that. It's nothing. For your like impulse of humanity, just like we've mentioned before, whether you're jerking off to some dark porn, as long as you're not going out and hurting a victim to satisfy your impulse and desire, then there's nothing to worry about. But if you do satisfy your impulse and desire by remaining the elite and remaining rich and keeping everyone in a slave state with inferior energy that they must work for and give their whole paycheck to, it's like, dude, like paying rent, like, okay, why? Like, I mean, I get it, but like that's like the only bill that makes sense is rent. When you live in like an apartment or like, but like property taxes, all these things. And then like, $300 or $400 goes to the electric company. And like, come on, are you kidding? Like, you guys just give your money away to these people and don't question it, while then they just rake in all the money at the top doing next to nothing. You think the owner and CEO and like of General Electric ever lifts a finger through his day to work hard for what he has? No. He sits back, lets you do all the hard work, and then just give him the money to the energy that he's kept a slave to you. And the proof is in Tesla, Nikola Tesla. His energy is real. It worked. It's in front of your faces, but they're so good at putting a guise on and a mask on and hypnotizing you all that instead of being like, we want Tesla's energy, we want Tesla's energy, instead of doing that, you're all just like, okay. And then you just go to work and don't believe there's another way. And if there was another way, of course, they would have let us know because they must be good because we're good. But that's not the fucking case. Just because you're a good person does not make this person a good person. Just because this person is in a position of authority or power does not make them a good person. Genuinely and generally, it makes them the opposite because only people that are fucked up want to be in those positions of power and money in the first place. Open your fucking eyes, people. Please. I mean, like, seriously, y'all. Like, let's get real here. And, it's like if I need to, it's like I get this feeling that some people would be like, oh, he must be reading like a teleprompter or something, or he's just this, or he's just that. And that's fine. I don't care. Like, I do not give a fuck what anyone thinks anymore. And the reason why that is because I've been in your hospitals. I've been in the psych wards. I've been in jail for things that I didn't mean to do when I was manic. And, and just, or like, like when I stole some diamonds on it, I just walked out of the store or whatever. Like, I just like, oh, money, and just left. And I was just, a little out of it and, didn't really think it through. And, whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. And that's why those felonies got dropped and I got mental health diversion because I've been in your systems. Like, the nice thing about being crazy, what is it? What's that quote? Man needs a little bit of this madness. Man needs a little madness or he never dares break the chains or ropes or whatever and be free. Like it's like I am, I've had episodes and issues with my mentality and how I see things or channel things or view things. And it's overwhelmed me and it's become too much. And I've lost touch before. And I'm and whatever. But that does give me the right to not give a shit what anyone fucking thinks. Because you all don't care what I think anyway, so I have nothing to lose. At all. It's awesome. Like, woo. No wonder I'm chosen for this. For one, I'm not scared ever. And for two, I mean, dude, that's not a challenge. It's not like, oh, now, how can we scare him or how can we try? Oh, yeah, right. Ooh, dude. Like, it's nothing to be proven. I just don't fucking care. Like, and that's what happens, And, I guess it just takes a harder path sometimes to really, like, learn some shit. I guess. I don't know. But yeah. I'm not reading a teleprompter. No one's telling me. I have no script. I didn't write this down. The only thing I wrote down was my introduction video that I did because I was like, okay, I just want to say this right. So I like think it out because when I try to just say stuff, sometimes I get jumbled. I take longer to explain myself or I'll lose focus. So anyway, like with channeling, of course, it just, it's different. But, when it's just my day-to-day life, like I'm very quiet. Like you could ask anyone that knows me, as of the last 10 years, I'm just a quiet dude. And unless I get too much booze in me, I'm a nice guy. So when I get too much booze in me or even a little booze these days is kind of like triggering this like anxiety, like not anxiety, but like frustration towards everything for some reason. So I've decided I've quit drinking and I'm done drinking. Not even one beer a week, not even one beer a month. I'm just done. Just like I'm done with cocaine. That doesn't mean I won't ever snort a line again if it was presented and I knew it wasn't cut with fucking fentanyl or Christ knows what else these days. But, it doesn't mean I'm not perfect. Like, yeah, I'll bump some coke. That doesn't mean I'm going to go do coke forever like I have. I mean, I've had my heyday of cocaine and Adderall and, I never really fucked with meth. I only tried it a couple times and it's just because I didn't want that any more than I already had and was addicted to, And anyway, I'm just explaining that because of my humanity. Like no one's doing, like, no one's forcing this. I just want to talk, and I want to explain how I see things. And I want to explain how the universal consciousness that did connect with my mind and psyche, that is a part of me. We are one. There is no separating that. There's no pulling information out of that, because if you, in my mind, because of my psychoses or whatever damage to my brain, whether it was trauma from getting hit in the head, or whatever, or drugs that I've done a lot of whippets. I did like I think, and Kelso will tell you, like, if you had to look into it, Kelso, if I could tell you, yeah, dude, I watched this dude, he drop 4 hits of liquid acid and then do, in his peak, 120 whippets back to back. And trust me, I went somewhere, guys. I went down the portal. And before I went down the portal, the dragon came up and bumped my nose in my mind's eye with my eyes closed, because I'm on 4 hits of acid, and decent acid, not like good acid, I guess, but it was decent. But and then I did I'm just like, whip it. And, if you like nitrous, like, how easy that is to just load one after the other. Hell, look at Steve-O, your jackass guy, Steve-O, he loved whippets, being like, you can just watch him tank one after the next. And I was no different for a period of my life. So, there's probably, and yeah, I kissed the dragon, and the drum was beating over my head, and they were saying, you're the one, which I had no idea what that meant. And like, you're the one is what they kept saying. And there was a secret that I could never tell, is what they told. It was what they kept saying. And I'd come out of it once the nitrous would like wear off. I'd like come back out into my body, and yeah, I was still tripping, but I was like, oh my God, what is that? Like, and I would just chase myself back down this portal every time I did the whippet, and I needed to learn or like get something out of that, I guess. And it was reckless, of course, but I was, when you're younger and you don't give a shit and you're at a festival, like, who gives a fuck? It's like, whatever, might as well, let's see what happens. But yeah, anyway, yeah, if you looked into my mind, it's very quiet. I don't have anything to talk about ever with people. For one, I just feel like whenever I try to explain my point of view, it just gets shut out. And, for whatever reason, I've just always had those kind of people around me. I don't know why I never really got on, or because I've known hippies, of course, and I've known, sweats and natives and, whatever. And, it's like, I don't know. I'm trailing off. I'm forgetting what I was talking about. All right. Oh, but yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, and when you hear what you just heard, that dun 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 dun, that vibrating sound, is me unlocking my phone. It's me putting in my key number on my phone to unlock it. There's no it's been funny. There's been some things I've been saying in channels or whatever, and then there will be like a ding on my phone, like right as I'm saying a certain word. I don't think that's a coincidence, but you never know. I know, who knows, but it's fun to pretend, and I just, yeah, man, just, we got to start standing up to the bully, and if you guys want to make a change, you need to start making the changes. You need to stop being lazy and recognize your addictions: food, smartphone, video games, drugs, alcohol. You need to start recognizing how trapped you are by those addictions. You need to slowly learn and help one another break free of those things. And you can still have them, but moderation, of course. And and remember each other, and remember one another, and like love one another, and be with one another. And yeah, you're not going to love or get along with everyone all the time, and no one's asking that or expecting perfection. It's just like, just stop being so damn hypnotized and complacent with what these rulers over you are giving you. Okay? Human or ET, again, that's your perspective, and that's only what you will know when you know. Okay? You're a human. You need physical proof. You need it in front of your face. You need to know. And even then, like I said, it could be God talking to you right now, and you could still just fucking ignore it. oh God, people are just so, and it's unfortunate, but yeah, they're just, yeah, oh God. It's just like so, you know, I don't know. Yeah, like, yeah, we do. We need to shake up and wake up. And I'm not, but that's the thing is then that's my question, is that I don't know how to do that. Like I could make some phone calls, obviously, but anyone that I would know would just be like, what do we do? And I'm just like, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? As an example, like how do people start the revolution? Like, I mean, I know the 60s, it's like, what do we need? Like because we seem to be being so systematically divided that it's like impossible to unite. But if the world united and you guys stop believing in these gods above you, yes, even Jesus, you think Jesus as an enlightened being would really give a shit or say that he was the only way to heaven? Really? 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 No. And like you might, and I'm not, if Christ is real for you, let it be. But it's in the past, it's gone, it's over. And it hasn't changed shit. The world is still an evil place. Wars, famine, drug addiction. Just look in South Africa in the hoods. It's like Jesus Christ. And like I would have no fear going there at all, but the majority of people would, But it's like they don't fuck with me. I mean, and there's always gonna be someone bigger and badder, but I haven't met him yet, and that's not a challenge because I don't want that drama. I don't care anymore. But I promise you, if like 3 Men in Black agents come walking through my wall somehow, or like I watched this video of that this Men in Black guy saying that these Men in Black literally walked through his wall and then like did whatever and then left, and I was like. So that would have to be an alien if that were true. But see, that could be disinformation too. Like the Men in Black are real, of course, and there is actual video evidence of that if you look in the right places. But whether they're alien or human, but if they really could walk through a wall, I'm just saying I don't give a fuck what they are. If 3 motherfuckers come walking through my wall in black, like. You're gonna get met with a fucking 8-round shotgun blast to the face. You're like, I'll just say that right now, and I don't give a shit because if they're not real, then that wasn't a real threat, right? But like, it's like, nah, man, I ain't playing games, bro. And like, I ain't afraid of the darkest hood or the no-go zone I ain't afraid of shit. I might die there. Don't get me wrong, I'm not invincible, nor do I think I am. But it's like. But I mean, it's ain't like I'm not going to just, but if I was in the no-go zone in certain places and these motherfuckers just won't cooperate or keep working with the CIA or whoever the fuck else keeps them rich and, out of jail, it's like if they can't stop being a fucking asshole, like then, I mean, I guess if I was a Navy SEAL and I was recruited, then I would just go in with the sniper and take them all out, right? I give a fuck. They kill, they rape, they torture, they're evil, they're never going to change. God could tell them to their face and they'd spit in God's face. Most likely. Some of them anyway. Some of them now would be like, oh shit, we need to make changes. But then they live so deep in a world that they're trapped in their ego that there's no escaping that. And in death, there's no escaping that for them either. They just stay stuck. It's like, and God must it suck to be that ghost. And that's why we said it's in the other channel video, that it's not our position or anyone's position to rescue a ghost. There are rare humans that can kinetically connect to ghosts and raise their vibration into light. And one's talking to you right now. But it's not his responsibility or job to be all your saviors for your wrong fucking choices and decisions, nor should it be Christ. Nor should Christ have to suffer torture. This nice guy just suffer torture and agony and pain for your problems. And then you're all like, oh yeah, just let it happen. It has to happen. He said it has to happen, or they said he said it has to happen. So it has to happen. So you're seriously just going to let the Son of God be crucified like that and then just hope that means that your sin's forgiven? What? Then drink his blood and whatever else in this ritual to like absolve and absorb him into you or some shit? What the fucking Satan is that? Dracula? Like, come on, man. You guys just need to wake up to logic. Simple logic. Simple fucking logic is enough to wake you all up. But that's just it, though. These bullies anticipate that you're going to remain so afraid of death. You're going to remain in these, whatever, and you're going to keep slaving away and making money and all this shit for them. And they don't anticipate you waking up. They do everything they can to keep you all confused, all working, all addicted. So no one ever does what I'm doing and actually stands up to these motherfuckers and is like, and yeah, I'm a one-man army right now. Because like I said in another video, I could call on motherfuckers, but I don't. Because as soon as you do that, as soon as you call on a real motherfucker, and he's not like your best friend that you've known from the time you were a kid, if you call on a gangster to do you a bid or a favor that you don't have the balls to do yourself, then you owe that gangster at that point. That gangster owns you completely. Not only does he see you as a pussy in a mark, then you're just like his bitch. And it's the same terms in prison. Anyway, and it's like, but so it's like, fuck, dude, like handle your own shit. You all need, and like, again, if you guys want to get together and rally, do it and just see what happens. If you're a peaceful rally, don't go with weapons, go with drones and cameras and every single person there be recording to a live stream while you're going to the Vatican or while you're going to this place or that place to find things and figure shit out. Be like, no, we want fucking answers, motherfucker. And of course they've written the laws. They've written all the laws. I mean, your laws didn't come from anywhere. They came from a certain group of people that wanted things a certain fucking way. The only law and order of your humanity that you should be living by is to not harm anyone. But if you want to do drugs, if you want to fucking bang hookers, if you want to gamble your life savings away, if you want to, jump out of airplanes or, bang heroin, I wouldn't recommend banging heroin because it's a trap. But like, if whatever, do whatever. You do whatever, man. Live your fucking life. These laws are just bullshit. The only law of the land of your people should be compassion and focalizing on the empathy in your hearts and minds that you're all slowly starting to forget, and re-nurture those things with one another, the people that matter to you. Take time out, let them know, and then if you really want to go to the Vatican and get in those archives, which of course if they hear this and they're like, oh shit, that could happen, then they're just going to move the archives. But that doesn't mean still don't go do it to prove a fucking point. And I'm not expecting anyone to do that. Nor has it been planned, nor is it an agenda, nor is it anything of me or anything. But you guys need to wake the fuck up and realize that there are better ways. Okay, so for example, Area 51. When you guys all threatened to storm Area 51 or whatever, whether that was government created or human created or anonymous created, which anonymous is a branch of the CIA, so don't believe that shit. Anyway, or I mean, it is now, so just don't fuck with anonymous. But, the hacker group or whatever. Like they might have started out good, but it's been corrupted at this point. So anyway, dude, oh my God. Yeah, seriously. Like the dark web is so seeded with just fuck bullshit. I don't go on the dark web, but I know it is, dude. It's just, oh God, it's just the depths of hell. It's so sad for people, man. It's so sad what we get addicted to and let ourselves become addicted to because we forget God when we're born because these fuckers manipulated our DNA a long, long time ago. Well, anyhow. I don't know. I want to keep tagging, but I just kind of, like you said, or I said, is my mind just goes blank and it's really peaceful. And I'll once in a while get a psychic dart thrown at me from who God knows where or why, but some being or entity that like throws a thought into my head. That's the prince of the power. There's your proof. It's in your Bible right there. Me saying that right there. That's Satan, the prince of the power of the air, casting doubt and illusion into my mind to make me feel less than, or make me feel wrong, or make me feel bad, or make me feel scared. That's the devil. Okay? So there's proof in your Bible, and yes, it does happen to me. Yes, it's just I can connect telepathically or telekinetically or whatever word used to connect with the unconditional realm, we'll call it, of good beings and love. Lovey love love. Yeah. It's like if I can do that, then I can probably connect in other ways too. Now I can't just be like, oh, what color are you thinking about? And then I might get lucky and guess the right color, but no, I'm not a psychic, dude. Nor do I want to be. My buddy Jacob at work today was like, because I don't talk about this shit at work, I'm quiet. Like I said, I let other people talk and I listen. And Jacob goes, oh, what did he say? God damn it. Don't lose my train of thought. What does he say? Jacob. Oh yeah. He said, if you could have the superpower to read everyone's mind all the time, would you do it? And I'm like, fuck no, man. And then I was like, wait a minute though. Can you turn it off at any point? Like turn it on and off, or would it just be always on? He's like, no, it's always on. And I'm like, then fuck no, dude. It's like, I don't want to know what goes on in your motherfuckers' minds, bro. Mine's quiet and it took a long time to get there. So I don't want to fuck with that shit. So no, like if you think I'm a psychic, I'm not claiming to be anything except who I am and what you're witnessing. And whether you can accept what you're witnessing or not is not relevant to me. That's relevant to you. See, people take things too personally in this world. Oh, they didn't like it. Or, oh, this bully said something mean. Or, oh, this bully tried to threaten me. Because I've taken some of my just chill posts and like put them on Reddit in different forums just to experiment and see. And yeah, sure, when I see, maybe others that are living see too, but that's up to them. I don't control anyone. I'm a very kind and loving boss. I don't boss people around. I let people make their own choices. But again, and I'll tell you now, if just in case, which I know it's not going to happen, but just in case some men in black come strolling up or through my fucking wall or whatever, it's probably real. I don't know, but oh God, dude, 8-pump shotty fucking ready, dog. Like, straight fucking. Oh my God. So it's like, yeah, it's like, why should you guys, and this is just a question, not a thread or like I'm not trying to plant ideas, but it's like, I just don't get it, dude. Like if these military dudes and like, the terrorists or whoever or whatever, and yes, there are real terrorists in Afghanistan and that mean us harm. Yeah. Duh, they hate us, just like the rest of the world seems to hate us, probably for a reason, because we're all fucking entitled, spoiled pricks in compared to them. And we believe in gods that they think are fucked, just like we believe in gods that they're just like, God damn it, guys. Stop believing in all these stupid gods. They don't do shit. Okay? You can pray if you want to, and there is a God out there, but it's not some demigod with a face, for Christ's sake. Jesus. Whatever. But, and so it's like, yeah, man, just like start fucking waking up and wake each other up and stop being afraid of what other people think and stop taking shit personally. And like, yeah, I posted on Reddit in a couple places just for me and some others to confirm that these are, we posted in our conspiracy. We posted in, what the fuck, or our what the fuck. We posted in our channeling, our max hardcore, and just like nice and like there was an experiment of direct channel message, and then it's all videos on my YouTube, but then also just like shorts of me being like, everyone love each other, and then putting that out, but then linking my page to that, just saying, and every single site has shut me down and deleted my videos except for one post on our conspiracy that's still up, because I like got around, I was able to like get around their rules and regulation and posting. But then I posted another in our conspiracy, and the first comment was, and I'm not saying anything bad, it was just a video of me just being like, man, I wish everyone could love each other and like just be cool. And like I just posted that. That's all it was. It was a short on my TikTok. And the first comment was, you better stop, or you better pipe down for real, for real. that was the message that this, that the person got that posted it. Whether it was me or my imaginary friend, wouldn't really matter, would it? All my imaginary friends. Oh, lovely. Drop Dead Fred. Movie's tight. Anyway, so yeah, I posted in the first, you better pipe down. So what I said, fuck it. I don't, I'll take responsibility for the words. I don't give a shit. It's like, I said, motherfucking cocksucker, don't ever tell me how to think, feel, behave, or anything else. And if you think for a goddamn second that you can intimidate anyone on our end, you are sorely mistaken. And if you try shit, you will then recognize what's fucking real, motherfucker. Just like they can sit back and be like, oh, we could end him with the switch. All they'd have to do is delete my channel, or they think that, it's like, nah, my videos exist elsewhere. YouTube's a platform, hopefully that I make money on because I do good podcasts and it makes people interested and people like listening to me ramble to myself, I hope that's all I can hope because I don't got much else to offer, when it comes to making YouTube videos. I don't give a shit about fucking, creating the world's largest pizza. I don't give a shit about all this mindless nonsense. Sure, it's fun, it's entertaining, but I don't give a shit. So I'm not going to waste my time doing things to entertain you all. That's not why I'm here. Unless this is entertaining, well then so be it, and good, and I'm glad, And to me, one person liking, I have 5 subscribers right now. That means the world to me. Just because that means I am reaching 5 people, whether they're good people or bad people that subscribed, I don't know. I would say good, or the voice in my head would say good, but who knows? And I guess I do, but one bad and the rest good. Yeah, whatever. But anyway, it's that's awesome. It means it's affecting someone, or someone's digging it, or someone's getting it, or someone's right on, or whether they believe it all or not, or whether it's this or that or whatever it is to them, it's not my prerogative. I'm not taking it personally. The only thing I am is if I reach and affect one person in a positive way, and it might not be easy to hear it, and you might try to fight it, obviously, but probably why I'm the channel and the boss of that specific deal, because, I don't know, I don't know. Again, I'm not trying to challenge anyone to test my, what did they say? Oh, test my gangster. Oh my God. All right. So since it's a podcast, let's switch gears and let's talk about Tekashi 6ix9ine. So it's all right, so he's a snitch, but he was never a gangster to start with, guys. And this is just me, and this is an example of me just not following what everyone else says and reacts like. Because when Tekashi 6ix9ine got in trouble for what he was doing with these gangsters that he tried to help and bring out of the hood and give a better life, but it wasn't enough for these greedy fucks. So they kidnapped him, threatened his mother, threatened him with his mother, and threatened, or whatever, whoever they threatened him with. And they got to him, man. And he became a puppet to them. And of course he has an ego. He's not just going to be oh man, I'm in over my head, but they were all using him. And beating it, I think they beat him up, they kidnapped him, they're threatening him, they want more, they want this. And he's what the fuck? It's not enough for you guys? So then they do some illegal shit, and because his name's involved with them, he should go down for that. Tekashi 6ix9ine worked for his success. And yeah, he surrounded himself with gangsters who dug his shit and were yeah, let's pop off. And yeah, we, and because I love 6ix9ine's voice, dude. The way 6ix9ine's voice hits, it fucking hits, dog. It hits. And I don't give a shit what anyone thinks, before or after him snitching. I dig 6ix9ine, dude. I don't like everything he says, but I like his sound. I like his voice. I like his energy. I like his confidence. He's cool, fuck it. I like his tattoos. Give a fuck. And right on 6ix9ine, dude. And I don't got your back. I got your back from a mind state. It's nah, man, you didn't snitch on these gangsters because you were a gangster. You tried to help these gangsters out of the hood. And then, of course, the media and, Hollywood pimps you as this gangster with these gangsters to make you a gangster. So you're an idolized role model by all these kids that want to be a fucking rapper gangster. Duh. And you know that's what happened to you. I know that's what happened to you. And and I talked to Snoop Dogg on Snapchat. He didn't respond. Because he said something about you, and I was like, bro, and I just gave him a quick synopsis of like what is really going on with that shit and you, and like, it's like, dude, you're not a snitch, man. You technically snitched, but you were never a gangster. You didn't create the fucking illegal shit that was going on. And if they used you to do it, then yeah, man, bring them all down. Bring the whole house of cards down. Don't stop with just them. Expose evil. Never be afraid to expose evil. Or fucking, we're all taught, oh, don't tell. If someone's doing something wrong, don't tell. And yeah, I mean, it's not my place to go say, oh, this guy's doing this or, oh, this guy's doing that. No, we don't live in that kind of world. But if you find yourself in a situation like 6ix9ine, where all you're doing is trying to be a rich, famous rapper and kick it with some real motherfuckers and have clout and whatever the fuck else, it was all fake for him. Of course he pimped it as real. That's what the ego does. It's not hard to lie. And it's like, but he wasn't. So when he found him, he gave everything to these he was like the Mr. Beast of rappers when it came to giving shit away and money and chains and diamonds and like, get real, dude. Tekashi 6ix9ine's a good kid and they took advantage of him. It wasn't enough for them, what he gave them. And so they acted like little fuck boy. I'm not going to say it, but they acted like little fuck boys is what they did. And it fucked 6ix9ine's whole career and everything he had and brought them up in. Hell yeah, you're snitching at that point. And don't act like for a fucking second there's any one else of you out there that would just take the bullet for something that you didn't really do or mean to do, but you got used as. Fuck that. So all you little fucking gangbangers out there that have a problem with 6ix9ine, you can talk to me first as far as that's concerned. Because fuck that shit. You ain't living his life. You don't know shit. And you're a little, all you little, oh yeah, oh he's a snitch, oh yeah. Instead of being a free thinker, like, well, I am obviously. And yeah, that's my ego because I'm talking. Like, when the channel talks and I talk won't be always decipherable. Nor do I have to explain myself because we're one in the same mind. That's how that works. But yeah, you got a problem with 6ix9ine, like you can talk to me first and I'll fucking educate your ass. That kid is a good kid. He's a good fucking artist. Okay? Leave him the fuck alone. Let him live his life. Give him a fucking contract again. We all miss his music. Quit fucking around, guys. And we know you're kind of easing him back in, but who cares about easing him back in, dude? Just keep him safe and, this word will get around to the right people, what I'm saying, and like they'll figure it out, man. Like when I say I'm a boss, I'm not here to pretend. Okay? Or like be an egotistical bastard about it. I'm just saying when I say something, sometimes motherfuckers listen. That doesn't mean everyone listens, but some do. Anyway, that comes from respect and fear as well. But that's how these bullies keep you all in line. Respect and fear. They play on your fears, you idolize them with a certain amount of respect, and then they do whatever the fuck they want, and you still don't have Nikola Tesla's free energy to where you don't have to give half of your fucking paycheck to the electric company every goddamn month. All right, that's an hour time. That's good for this podcast for the week. I hope you all are well. I hope it finds you well. Don't take anything personally. Stand up to the bullies. Confront what's different. Deep dive everything. Question everything. And love yourselves. And appreciate yourselves, not in a vain way, not so you can fuck the most chicks as you possibly can or dudes as you can, but no, love yourself in the true sense of that you matter. You are a special person, whether your mom or dad told you or didn't tell you. I'm telling you, you are all special, and the universal conscious mind is saying the same thing, except for the ones that we've already, covered in this podcast that just won't or cannot, whatever, and their eternity is your salvation and your peace once you're in the kingdom of heaven, or what you couldn't even grasp what the kingdom of heaven is. We could sit here and tell you, but we'd rather just let you be surprised. We don't want to ruin it. But we will say the greatest things you could ever imagine, it's so much more than even that. And just your salvation, whether these fucks ever change, which they will, and there will come a day. But, and with that we promise, we're just leaving it up to them to do it. Which it's like, oh, no.
of course. So, but we'll figure it out. One step at a time, guys. Anyway, enjoy your day. Thanks for tuning in. If you would like to hit the subscribe button or the like button, it's awesome to me. And no, it doesn't mean, yes, it does mean that the government's watching, but it doesn't matter. Just because you like or subscribe to me, it does not mean that you're with me in the sense of like anything that I'm doing or the people I know. Don't be afraid to like or subscribe because of you're intimidated. Like, that's bullshit. So anyway, but if you don't want to like and subscribe, don't. But, do your thing. But it'd be great and mean a lot to me if you did. So, all right, I love you all in that way, just as humans, fellow humans. And I wish you all the best for now. And we'll pick up again next week. All right, peace out.